The next morning, it was on to Leverberg. I checked the weather and some storms were forecast for my route. So coupled with the larger hills, it seemed like a good idea to go ahead and leave the bike behind and carry on foot. So I arranged for the bike to be picked up and planned to catch the bus once I made it across. My Hebridean Way adventure wasn't over, but it was going to look a little different than I'd planned. Upon arriving in Leverberg, I paid a visit to the buddy bus, where I grabbed a hot coffee to enjoy while I waited for the bus into Stornoway. I had a flight to catch at the end of this journey, and if I carried on the Hebway on foot, I likely wouldn't make that flight. I'd also heard enough stories from hikers I encountered along the trip thus far to know that I had no desire to walk it. So I decided to spend my last few days in Stornoway, relaxing and exploring. Sitting on the bus, it was hard not to feel like a quitter. Watching both hikers and cyclists fight their way through the weather and watching it deteriorate mile after mile, I knew inside I'd made the right choice for me. In some parts, visibility was so bad, steep drops coupled with narrow roads, it just wasn't something I wanted to tackle. I was worried for the folks I'd met the day before and even passed them on the bus ride into Tarbert. Later that night, I heard from them and that they'd arrived at their accommodation safely. As I watched the beautiful landscape roll by, I realized had I elected to battle it out on the bike, I may have missed these moments. So as I sat there watching the moody, mist-covered hills roll by, I was reminded of last year's trip and why I love Scotland's wild beauty. You can't shake the hold a place like Scotland has on your soul, as if you'd ever want to. Just gotten off the bus in Stornoway, and there is my hostel straight ahead. Look at this building. Nice nice is that? Very sleepy today. Almost everything in town is closed except church. I don't know if that's part of Lou's castle down there. I'm not sure. I have clothes on the line, and after those are dry, I'm going to head out and try to go over to the castle and gardens because it is a lovely day out.
Electric box.
Electric.
Lewes Castle began as a summer lodge for Lord Seaforth, also known as Mackenzie of Kintail, in 1680. In 1844, it was purchased by Sir James Matheson with his fortune from the Chinese opium trade, and in 1847, castle construction began. From 1939 to 1945, the castle was converted into a naval hospital. Later, it would house a technical college, and in subsequent years, the castle would change hands several times and even sat empty. Eventually, it was converted into the museum, cafe, and hotel it is today. If you're not too tired from hiking the Hebridean Way, a good way to spend an afternoon is exploring the many trails on the castle grounds. Approximately 667 acres of beautiful trees and plants can be found here, as well as a sunken garden and plenty of benches and shady spots to appreciate nature. There are also several interesting totems throughout the forest. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find anything about them, and if you happen to know their history, please leave me a comment down below. Delightful little things. I have no idea what these are, but they're so small. Look how tiny. Scotland has a wonderful smell, and when you're walking through the woodlands and it's cool and crisp, it is just magical. It feels so nice out today. It smells wonderful. It's just lovely. It's just really, really lovely.